Listen, I started Jake off and I'm gonna finish him. Just come to the fight and you'll see.
Fuck Jake Paul. I like that shit. Yeah.
It was
Jake Paul. I like that. It was good. Why did he laugh it off, Jake? Okay. It was good. Why laugh? I'm going to last much longer. You're fat. Mike Tyson never one to pull punches. Certainly doesn't waste any time getting his jabbing on verbally. It's pretty clear Tyson isn't threatened in the least by the much younger Jake Paul. If anything, Tyson openly clowns Paul's physical conditioning, which gives notice there will be a psychological battle many days before the physical one will commence. Jake, I saw him with his shirt up over there. He's fat. Did you start training already? He's not going to win. Look at he can't even knock out Nick Diaz. Nick Diaz is 40 pounds. How's he going to knock me out? Tyson called into question Paul's physical preparation, referring to his fight against Nick Diaz. He mentioned how Paul failed to knock out Diaz even though he was older and heavier. As clear as night and day, Tyson's message was that if Paul had problems with Diaz, he has little chance of beating a seasoned veteran like himself. He never even knocked out Tommy Fury. What's the other guy? Anderson Silva. He didn't knock those little guys out. How is he going to knock me out? Hit a knockout. Never knocked out a real man. Come on. You know, 60 isn't what 60 was. 30 years ago, yeah, 60 is very young now. He then proceeds with his analysis, naming other boxers like Tommy Fury and Anderson Silva, whom Paul couldn't knock out. Tyson, who is about to turn 60 years old, does lack confidence in his own self when he exclaims that age has not slowed him down. Tyson instead focuses on how the number 60 is different today rather than all those decades ago. Weird personality? I don't think it's weird though. Whatever I'm afraid to do, I just do it. Anything that I'm afraid of, I just confront it. And that's my personality. Here, Tyson shows insight into his mind. He talks about facing fears head-on, which seem to define his career in the ring. This insight into his mental state reveals why Tyson remains an opponent to fear after all these years. While the fight is at hand, those same nerves rattling my core begin to dissipate and build into a steely resolve. It is not fear that now consumes me, but rather profound understanding that the moment of truth is about to unravel. The closer I get to stepping into the ring, the less the tremors of anxiety are felt. It feels as if the reality of what is going to happen drowns out the noise in my head. Because in fact, I am invincible. This isn't the bravado talking, this is a fact in my brain that I have finally embraced. The man standing across from me, who will soon be quite foolish enough to challenge me, thinks he can inflict pain, hurt me. But he is just very wrong. He's walking into a nightmare he can't wake up from. Every ounce of his strength, every strategy he has devised, will be made useless when pitted against my unstoppable will. The closer to the fight, the bigger my confidence surges. There's an eerie calm that settles over me, a tranquility that comes with embracing the inevitable. The fight is not something to be feared but conquered. The instant I inherit this truth, everything else fades away. My focus sharpens, my senses heighten, and I am a force of nature unstoppable and unshakable. I don't think I'll be smoking for this fight, and I think I'm going to be really irritable and nasty in this world, with hormone replacement and vitamins, and he does all this electrical muscular stimulation recovery stuff, like when they were training Mike for that Roy Jones fight. Like they were using state-of-the-art science. I do not give a damn if you think he is 55 years old, that guy will hurt. Sign the contract, big boy, come on. Sign the contract, let's do it. Tyson also speaks about his quitting smoking textures and the advanced recovery techniques he is indulging in. He's taking this fight seriously, employing modern science to make sure that he is at his best. The challenge is laid out. He wants Paul to sign the contract, signaling his readiness. Jakey, we're getting ready for you. You still want to fuck with me? This is from my point of view of grabbing glory. You know, never for money, only glory. I would never risk my health for money. I don't think he's faster than me. I train every day. The process goes through the whole day. I wake up in the morning and do the road work, then I go to the gym at 1, then I go to the strength and conditioning guy, then it starts all over again. I don't know how Jake could survive a body attack. He repeats his motivation, a fact that arises from glory rather than money. He is training very hard. and he says that Jake Paul can't stand his relentless body attacks. The statement categorically highlights how Tyson goes by his superior conditioning and technique. Can I just make the comparison to Yoda in Star Wars? Yeah, Yoda is like he'd be hobbling around doing whatever, but when Yoda goes to battle, you cannot beat Yoda. That's his. I don't see Jake doing much against Mike. I was going to rip his heart out. I am the best ever. Most brutal and vicious and most ruthless champion that ever lived. There is no one to stop me. Conqueror. No, I am Alexander. He is no Alexander. There is no one that can match me. My style is impetuous. My defense is impregnable. And I'm just ferocious. I want your heart. I want to eat his children. Praise be to Allah. You don't want to fuck with me. Drawing parallels with the invincible Yoda from Star Wars, Tyson says he is a seasoned warrior and that no victorious battle can be waged against him. He reiterates what he said many times before, that he is indeed the best in the boxing world. This part of the sports feature is a strong recollection of Tyson's name and how confident he is of his abilities. But it's wild how many people actually think Mike has a shot against me. What does that mean when fighting gets you erect, orgasmic sometimes? It's something unbelievable to witness, to be frank with you. A heavyweight guy moving like a lightweight. Mike's trainer can't believe his eyes. He can't hit this 58-year-old powerhouse of a man cleanly. Mike Tyson is still slipping the jab like a master technician. His style is impetuous, his defense is impregnable, and he's just ferocious. Let's do it, Jakey. The contrast is clear. Tyson thinks he is invincible, while Jake Paul says he is not. Yet the footage of Tyson's recent training has shown that he still is a force in the ring. Even for his age, Tyson is still technical and strong, and perhaps Paul isn't giving his opponent the credit he deserves. The below video is interesting because Mike Tyson is pressuring a much heavier and younger fighter. Does that mean he'll do the same thing to Jake Paul, or does it at least give some indication? Go! Stop his head as soon as you are in the ever-evolving world of boxing. One name that keeps on defying expectations is none other than the iconic Mike Tyson. At 57, Tyson is not some kind of remnant from the past. He is an object of imposing presence in the modern world, demonstrating the adequacy of skills and expressiveness, which would be the envy of many boxers more than half his age. Sparring footage coming out combats him dominating younger, heavier fighters, highlights what can be expected when he meets Paul in the ring. That he has defied his age and is still capable of competing at an elite level adds another layer of intrigue behind recent sparring footage of Tyson leaves fans in awe. The man is not only throwing punches, but is dancing around the ring with grace that belies his age. Indeed, a testament to the athleticism of Tyson himself and how committed he has been to stay at the top. What gives that extra layer of meaning to Tyson's latest efforts is the fact that he himself has actually moved into coaching. It is not about resting on one's laurels. It is about passing the knowledge of the legendary Kato to the next generation of fighters. He isn't just content being the former champion. He is now a great coach shaping the active future of the sport. Besides being a fighter himself, Tyson has been teaching and mentoring the next generation. A transition like this indeed speaks volumes of his attachment to the sport, not only as a fighter, but also as a mentor to future champions. This iconic boxer's legacy keeps building up both in and out of the ring. The last thing to go with any fighter is their power, and Mike Tyson is a knockout guy. I mean, if Tyson trains for this fight and really gets in tip-top shape, takes this fight seriously, I think Jake Paul's going to get hurt. When you get challenged by some guy, like Jake Paul, does that piss you off? No, it doesn't. I think it is awesome that you handle it that way. It's kind of insulting, it's brave, it's bold of him, but it's also like, Jesus Christ, there is levels to this world. I looked at Tyson's history, he's coming from the same history that I'm coming from. He spent some time in incarceration. While he was in incarceration, I'm still out there fighting and training hard, he didn't have that. The topic shifts to the broader ramifications of the fight as Tyson's past is pitted against Paul's daring. It is clear that there is a gap in experience and background for Paul to actually be as daring as to challenge Tyson. This section points out the generational and experience difference between the two pugilists. But when Mike Tyson and Jake Paul face off against each other, it is a fight that becomes more of a generation clash, one clash of experiences and one clash of legacies. Tyson, ever the icon, brings unmatched experience with him into the ring, while Paul seeks to prove himself against one of the all-time greats. With the whole world waiting for this event to happen, only time will prove who will triumph in it.